Larry Sprinkle, NBC Charlotte. Is that really his last name? Does anybody know?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
I've always wondered when I watch him in the morning.
Yes, it's my real name. Larry Sprinkle is my real name.
I love all of you. Thank you.
Well, this says about a 90% chance of development. It was a very foggy morning. Part of our ceiling just collapsed in here. That says Ben's Big Forecast right there. Yeah. I have a coffee cup getting ready to celebrate its 21st birthday. Time for our weekend tailwagon. The Puppy Olympics. Look like a beekeeper, Larry.
Oh, Larry.
Yeah.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Faster. Come on.
Jump, 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 jump. Yeah. Shoulder, toes up in the air.
Oh.
Nice.
Good to see you this evening. I'm your waiter, Lawrence Sprinkleton.
What's happening in your neck of the woods today?
It turned into a baseball, Al.
I'm the driver of the Bozo bus.
Yeah. Ooh, she's kind of scary.
And round and round and the princess of precipitation. I am the perfect person to purvey the weather forecast, but there may be one person other than me who should do the weather for thee, and that's Larry Sprinkle. Larry.
Come on. What's the problem here? Okay. All right. Ah!
And his hair stayed on. That's the incredible thing. It's cold. Poor Larry.
The big drip got wet.
Oh, yeah. Sign him up, baby. Sign him up. Sign him up.
Very nice.
That's a cow, Holstein cow, and here's a cow egg.
For the first time, we've actually revealed that cows do lay eggs.
Don't just look at me like a camera. I need your money. Now.
Go.
Am I floating? You are floating, Larry.
This is what?
I tell you what, we're going to do some weather. Emmett, if you could just play a little weather music for us right now while we do some weather. Here we go. Isn't that Sue's the Savage Beast?
I'm the Sonic Man. Today, you and I will be watching our favorite characters in the fabulous world of funnies.
Wow! It's Zax! He's come to see us.
I love to play. Let's go climb trees.
Come back!
I had a shag. It's kind of like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then... We had a big party out here with a band. Understanding that you were breakdancing out there.
I did. That's
spinning on your head. What happened?
That's what happened. My hair is right now in Gastonia.
Mr. Bob Hope. Bob, I don't know whether you could hear that or not, but that is your portable theme that I carry around everywhere I go.
Do you want me to really do it the right way? You're doing a horrible job. This was a terrible interview. You are fired.
Thank you.
I'm only kidding.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Larry's broadcasting career started accidentally in Rutherford County, North Carolina. He was just 14 years old.
Well, basically, they needed a janitor. And so my mother would take me every day after school to the radio station, and I basically emptied trash.
6 months into the job, he happened to be in the studio when a record ended. There was no DJ in the booth.
This is Larry Sprinkle on WBBO radio, and that was the Beatles. My voice got higher and higher. It was almost like I was talking on helium.
After that, he was on the radio every day. But Larry says he was just a nerdy, skinny guy with a crew cut.
I was as shy as a door. One-on-one. I could not talk to a girl.
His career had barely taken off when Larry's father, who was a civil engineer, told the family they'd be moving to, of all places, Ethiopia.
I thought, this is the end, the end of the world.
Well, he was wrong. Far from his packed office of today, Larry landed a job in Addis Ababa playing top 40 American music.
61 WAYS Big Ways.
1972, a young disc jockey joins Ways Radio. Larry was part of two of the most successful morning teams in Charlotte history. First, Jay Thomas, who waged a losing but spirited campaign for mayor of Charlotte in the early 70s. Later, Larry worked with Robert Murphy on Murphy in the Morning. At one time, Ways Radio had more than 40% of the Charlotte audience.
If you were driving down Independence, if the person in the next car was laughing, they were listening to Big Ways.
Murphy in the Morning.
But Much of the success of Ways was based upon sketches. Sketches where Larry played any number of characters. In this one, he's Mr. Codgers.
Good morning, Neighbor Murphy, and good morning to our mailman, Mr. McPhillup.
Codgers, I have a letter here from Jesse Helms. Says right here you've been placed on the moral majority hit list.
Well, that'd be a very special feeling. On my way over today, I saw old Coach Larson.
Coach Larson's a football coach at Oakdale High School.
He's also a very lonely man. I saw him putting lipstick on the tackling dummy and calling her Maxine.
You're demented.
I pretty much made up characters, and Larry pretty much played them. I didn't even have to ask him in advance. I needed him to do a takeoff on the PTL Club, which we call the Pass-a-Loot Club, and we used the Reverend Bill Taker. He became that immediately, and then a host of other characters along the way. If I made them up, he could do them.
Simply take your inflatable Jessica Hahn doll to a cheap motel, lock the door, and soon you too will know the pleasures that I have received.
What about it? Stan and Sis Kaplan, owners of the Charlotte Leader newspaper, owned Ways Radio for some 20 years. John Kilgo, the Leader's top columnist, is himself a local broadcast legend. News director at Ways, former GM at WBT. When talking of Larry, they touched the same themes.
Maybe the only guy I've ever known in this business, as talented as he is not egomaniacal. I mean, I've always been a team player, funniest guy I've ever met.
And sometimes with talent comes an insufferable amount of ego. That's not the case with Larry. He would do anything to help whatever institution he was working for.
Hi there, how you doing? We're the good, the bad.
In his early years at NBC6, while still working radio, Larry did movie hosting, promos, and commercials, including one very well known.
What are you doing in there? In a boat?
Again, doing any number of characters. Much more on that later, but 15 years ago, Larry started doing something else.
Is there a sprinkle in your forecast?
Through rain and snow, tornadoes, hurricanes, and floods, Larry has been here in the SkyMax Weather Center, including one night in 1989 during Hurricane Hugo.
I've been distracted because, as a lot of people are experiencing, part of our ceiling just collapsed in here. This is the old studio here off of Hood Road, and the Weather Center at the time was kind of right in here. You can see all the gear for the lawnmowers right here. But I was on the air in this area, and I was looking at the camera, and the camera was basically locked down just like this, and I could hear something coming from up there, and I looked over and looked up out of the corner of my eye, I saw it, and part of the ceiling has just caved in near me.
So I would think that it would be almost a little bit sad to come back here after this long, you know,
Yeah.
kind of see the building the way it looks now, especially because we do have, I mean, honestly, truthfully, such a gorgeous and really nice facility, you know, over
Yeah.
on Billy Graham, but this is where you started.
Yeah,
I mean,
this was it. This was built in 1967, and there's a big tower. That's a 1,200-foot tower. If you can imagine, at the top of that, a transmission line snapping, coming down and hitting the building. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of nostalgia here, a lot of history in this place right here. We had no idea what was going to hit us right here because about, like you say, 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the morning, hurricane force winds right into Charlotte, damage everywhere, and literally tens of thousands of trees were knocked down. And you know, we still have trees around here, but there are a number of trees right here on the old studio lot that just came down. I remember walking out of the station, out of the door over here, and standing here, and you could hear pow, pow, power stations going, you know, popping. And you could look off in the distance and see all the power going out. And literally, for weeks, people didn't have power right here in the Charlotte area.
Over the years, Larry has done weather in any number of places, on the side of a circus elephant, from a hot air balloon, inside the studio, outside the studio, from inside a wind tunnel. Sometimes he's even had help from himself.
What are you doing here? It's my job to be here. You know, I'm the weather guy. Who are you?
Our next inductee into the Carolina Beach Music Hall of Fame, my friend and colleague, your co-host for the evening, Larry Sprinkle.
Among Larry's many honors, a spot in the Beach Music Hall of Fame. Several times he has been voted either weathercaster or broadcast personality of the year here in Charlotte.
He does not know he's getting this special day named after him today because he thinks he's here to report the news. But he's not here to report the news. He's not here to do his Elvis impersonation either. And he's not here to do the weather tonight on NBC6. His name is Larry Sprinkle. He is sitting in the reporter's bin, and this is a total surprise. You got it. I, Pat McCrory, Mayor of Charlotte, now do hereby proclaim May 14th, 2001 as Larry Sprinkle Day of Giving to the Community. Larry, congratulations.
This is an incredible surprise and an honor that I will never, ever forget in my life. I'm not comfortable in this type of situation, but I'll take it when I get it. And when I get a day named after me, I will cherish this and frame this, and I will probably just walk around with it all the time wherever I go now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Larry.
Very generous. Thank you. Really nice out there. Very comfortable.
Informative.
Albemarle 53.
Reliable.
Really nice out there.
Funny as heck.
When I say hello, you say hello. Hello.
There's just something about Larry Sprinkle.
Good morning. This is fabulous.
And now that special something is being celebrated with not one, but 2 Charlotte Magazine Bob Awards. One for Best TV Personality, the other for Best Weather Forecaster.
You've been around long enough.
It's not just that,
You
though.
grow on people.
I don't think so. It's not just
Well,
that. It is, you have a special way about you.
If I do, I don't know what that way is.
It's this modest, genuine, unassuming nature that makes you love Larry that much more.
I am humbled by the way people respond. Knowing that people are looking forward to you being on television, to just relate to them what the weather is going to be that day and what it's going to be the next several days, and they really count on you.
And it's not just what you see on TV on NBC Charlotte. Being an advocate for causes that you care about is just part of who Larry is.
If somebody takes the time to call me or email me and say, Larry, we have this charity and it helps these individuals, and I start thinking, how can I say no to that? Because if I say no to that person, I'm saying no to all those people who need help.
From the Boys and Girls Club to the Animal Shelter, Kinder Morn, Holy Angels, Loaves and Fishes, Goodwill, Salvation Army, Community Blood Bank, Dove House, Children's Miracle Network, and so many more. What matters to you matters to him.
But it does mean a lot to have been in this community so long and to be such a part of it. I mean, you know, I can't imagine being anywhere else than right here.
Hey, Larry, we're all counting on it.
It means a lot to know that people are turning the television on and they're looking forward to you being there to give them the weather every day.
And maybe a Donald Duck impersonation.
And
yes, right. That's exactly right.
The awards are many, the talent obvious. Those who know him can talk at length about that, but they also talk of something much higher than simply broadcasting.
The best thing I can say about Larry is he is a genuinely nice person. He's just a good guy, and people like him.
You know, there are some people in your life that if the going really got tough, you knew they wouldn't be there. Well, it wouldn't matter how tough it got, Larry'd be there.
Need knows no season. Sharing is giving. You know, the ones who suffer the most in poverty are, unfortunately, the children.
And here's Santa Claus!
For years, Larry has devoted much of his time to charitable and community work. Just a small list of the groups he has helped would include ARC of Mecklenburg County, Residential Support Services, Loaves and Fishes, Salvation Army, Leukemia Society, Hands on Charlotte, and many, many more. His calendar is full. He seldom says no.
The walk begins and the music begins! Have a great time, everybody!
He's imaginative, he's creative, and he's a lot of fun.
Doesn't take any real credit for it. It's kind of behind the scenes, but he does such a fantastic job. He's always there to shake hands or give the high fives and talk to everybody about his love for Special Olympics.
We have food drives where people will come out specifically because they know Larry's there. He traditionally stays long after the cameras have gone back to the station.
Is everybody happy today?
He works tirelessly to do all kinds of fundraising and events for nonprofits in this city.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You're just a clucking all the time, baby.
He does the live auction. He will get on the tables, jump from table to table, sell the chandeliers, the centerpieces, whatever he'll throw them all into whatever anybody's going to bid on for that evening and just make a show out of the event. And that's the guy I know.
He's the hero to more nonprofits than I can tell you. Everywhere he goes, he keeps us in mind. He talks about needs. He talks about all the good that's happening. Larry's just there, as you say, 24/7.
This is a very special night.
He has won a number of awards for community service, including Citizen of the Year by the Civitan Club. You only have to see Larry before a group, giving a hug to an elderly person, or with children, to know that calling him a people person is an understatement.
They drew this little picture. Did you say you had to go somewhere?
I get.
Did you have to go somewhere?
I have to go to the party.
Oh, okay. Okay. I've had that problem myself before.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's Christmas time this year. Hi, Elf.
Okay, so he's never won any awards for his singing, but no one has more fun. People still talk about the night he conducted the Charlotte Symphony.
Time for our tail waggers, the whole family.
It's not just people, but animals, too, that are close to Larry's heart.
He loves to be outside and likes going for walks.
He loves my hair.
Stay Larry Sprinkle.
Hey, Charlie, he's a good boy.
Who knew back in 1988 that tail wagger would still be going strong.
You like the smell of my breath? Is that what it is?
Larry has always been a fan of the animals, as long as I've known him.
Our tail wagger today is Mr. Jingles. You can see little jingle bells right there.
It's one of the questions that I'm often asked about him. Is he as nice as he appears on TV? And it is certainly the truth.
What a friendly.
And I can't believe how effective it is. There have been times when there's been somebody waiting for an animal before I've even gotten back here from the studio. Viewers always ask me, does Larry really like the animals as much as he seems to on the air? And I say, well, if you see the things that he puts up with off the air, the dog's humping his leg or the pig's biting him, then you know that he does it because he truly loves the animals.
Over the years, Larry's adventures with animals have been, to say the least, interesting.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. You didn't tell me it was going to be something like this. What is this, Tim?
I've never done the weather with a monkey on my head. I've had a monkey on my back, but never on my head before. And, oh, that's very nice. If you could just itch right there.
I guess the big question, you know, is we heard about Charlotte not having a groundhog. I don't know what the confusion is about because it's right here. We have Charlotte's official groundhog right here. Now, I know that it's not a woodchuck, but it is a hog. It's on the ground, and his name is Pokey. Her name is Puzzle.
I love you too. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I
That's cute, and they brought all kinds of interesting animals with them today. We'll be back. You didn't tell me you were going to do that.
It was a...
He's been a staple of Charlotte mornings
on TV. How you doing?
For years.
The silver tip gets stick.
Every day you rely on Larry Sprinkle for your forecast as you head out the door.
We've received gusts up.
But last year, for the first time in decades, he disappeared from local TV screens.
I remember it started out just like any other day here at the station.
Exactly 1 year ago, Larry's life changed forever. He was behind the wheel on 485 when he had what he calls a blackout moment. These are never seen before photos of his car after the crash. It was so bad that firefighters had to cut the car apart just to reach Larry.
It could have been a lot worse. When you look at the car and you see the extent of damage.
Larry's downplaying it. He broke both legs, a knee, a wrist, and fractured several ribs. He was in the hospital in physical therapy for months. And at certain points, he worried he would never return to TV.
There were periods of time where I'm in a wheelchair, I can't walk, and I really thought, am I ever going to be back?
Our cameras followed Larry's recovery all the way, and it was grueling. He says it was you and all your letters that helped get him through it.
You got an outpouring of support and mail from our viewers. I know that helped you.
In October, he returned to forecasting the weather and, most importantly, connecting with you, his loyal fans.
That's why I'm here today. Every bit of that has got me back on my feet, and that's why I walk into work every day.
A Charlotte legend who's been around for decades, now with a new appreciation for life.
Yeah.
You want some of this?
I want some
no,
of it.
No,
okay.
no, no.
I'm going to take you up there right now.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Glenn. Come back here. Come back.
You did it again.
All right, just a few of the crazy events that Larry actually came up with for the Larry Olympics. From the zip line with serious Glenn counts to gymnastics, curling, a little snowboarding. Larry basically proves he will try it all. He even, I couldn't believe this one, challenged Olympic speed skater Dan Jansen to a formal swim. Take a look at how they're dressed, a formal swim. I am sure you've never seen anything like this. Larry, it was a little challenging, wasn't it?
Definitely. Dan Jansen, the great athlete he is, and even though he's not a swimmer, he got across there so smoothly, just like Olympian, and where you see me right there, my pants were so weighted down with water, I was swimming vertically, and I really didn't think I was going to make it across, and at one point I thought, I can't do this on TV. I can't really sink. Yeah. And so that kept me going. I thought it was over halfway across there. Yeah, and so I did finally make it.
Did you flip over on your back?
Yes, I had to. I was dying. I really thought I'm going to drown. And it's going to be on all these. We had 3 cameras there that day. And so I finally made it. Dan Jansen, it took him maybe a couple minutes. It took me 15, 20 minutes to finally get to the other side. I was so exhausted, I said, I will never, ever do this again. But Dan Jansen, what a sport.
You can be your best in Jansen tennis gear.
In his early years at NBC6, Larry's ability to do voices and characters made him a natural for commercials and promotional announcements. You may have seen some of these and not even known it was Larry.
The sales staff is anxiously waiting to take you for a ride, and they sincerely hope you enjoy being taken.
On a national level, Larry did one of the best-known commercials ever. Yes, he was the Tidy Bowl man.
A new Tidy Bowl?
Yes, it means you'll scrub less often because Tidy Bowl has ring guard to help keep your toilet bowl ring-free automatically.
I'll scrub less often. Cleans and deodorizes, too.
Right, and Tidy Bowl gives you a choice of lemon fresh blue and pine scented green.
Hello, everyone. In the early 80s, he hosted a quiz show called Quibble. One time, just for fun, Larry played the host and all of the contestants.
Oh, yeah. Very pleased to be here. Oh, hi. Thank you, sir. Hey, Mom, how you doing? There we go. Come on in.
Among the characters that keep showing up from time to time on NBC6, Buck. Larry's lovable but rather slow second cousin twice removed.
You've heard about Latin Hour from the show today? You think he's going crazy places? What do you hear about where in the world is Buck?
Still, his best-known character is the man from Memphis. This is the Junior League Follies in 1994, and one of many appearances with Larry playing Elvis.
Ain't nothing better than a beautiful woman. But there's one thing better than that. It's a beautiful woman with a big old jelly donut. Let's go, baby.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you.
You ain't gonna be lonely tonight. It was a crazy, crazy trip on the Bozo bus. I'm turned out the Wicked Witch of Weather. I go round.
My name is Paul E. Titian, and I do not move my lips when I talk. They call me Uncle Looney. I'm the chaperone and the mechanic of the Bozo bus.
Blah, 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 blah. I tell you what, when people want to know the pizza to eat, they come to Tony's. It's me, Mac Malay. Business in the front, party in the back.
It's so good to be here. I came all the way from across the pond, Zix, Z-Y-X. I play lead tambourine for the band.
Know her, you love her. Hello.
Hello. When I say hello, you say hello. Hello.
Hello.
I like your new hairstyle. You look kind of special today.
In this movie, A Day of Judgment, Larry plays a rather sleazy womanizer who gets his just desserts in the end. In Firestarter, he played an airport security guard, and in Trick or Treat, a talk show host.
And we're back with evangelist and moral crusader, the Reverend Aaron Gilstrom. Reverend, let me ask you a question. This album...
Larry's ability to do characters and voices makes him one of the biggest practical jokers ever.
I met Larry when I moved here from Jacksonville. The Kaplans brought me in from Jacksonville. And he started the first day and went to another office and called as the FCC commissioner and threatened the general manager of the station at the time and would not stop threatening him and saying he was an FCC commissioner and that Jay Thomas had to be fired. Larry and I also would go to every Denny's and pretend one of us was blind, and we had to touch the other people's food before the blind guy would order it. And people are so kind here, they would let us actually touch their food, their eggs. I once put my finger in the coffee and made the person lick the coffee to see if there was enough sugar in it. Okay. We were asked never to go back to Denny's again.
Right.
And then Larry began raising money for people, you know, who are unsighted. And I think that's one reason why he's so charitable, because he and I have done such horrible things together that we've had to raise millions of dollars so that maybe we'll have one chance to go to heaven at some point.
It was a snowstorm, 6 inches of snow in front of the building. My part of the shtick was to be out in front shoveling, low man on the totem pole, right? And so Larry did his weather and then tossed it to me. I'm shoveling, telling people about the snow, and then all of a sudden, a snowball comes flying at my head, and I mean, it whizzed my ear. So by 2 inches, I would have been knocked out live on TV. Thanks, Larry.
6 News, this is Allison.
When the phone rings in our newsroom, it's generally about business. But it might be Larry on the other end pretending to be almost anyone. If you work with Larry, you are at risk.
And quite frankly, I bet you that when I worked with Larry, that maybe twice a day I received phone calls and accused people of being sprinkled.
But he did everything. I mean,
he called disc jockeys at the station posing as me and fired them.
Oh, and he'd do, you know, he'd...
Get out of there. Get out of the building.
And on a Monday morning, the phone rings and says, "Oh, Miss Bennett, we were expecting you in 30 minutes. We were just calling to see if you'd be on time." Excuse me? So I've thought that I have missed more than one speaking engagement because Larry has called me and said, "You're supposed to be somewhere in 5 minutes," and of course I'm in my pajamas with a baby with a bottle.
And I get this phone call after my second day on the job, and the guy on the other end's going, "Chuck Howard, you don't know nothing about racing, you Yankee. You go back up north. We don't want your types down here. Just get off the air. Don't ever come back on the air again here. My brother and me, we're coming down there with a pickup truck to get you." And about 5 minutes later, as I'm sitting at my desk just trying to contemplate my future, in walks this guy here. "Hey, Chuck Howard, how you doing? Welcome to Charlotte." And it's Dingbat Sprinkle.
Yeah, how old are you again?
Yes.
How old are you?
Yes.
I still don't know how old you are, and I don't know when your birthday is.
Yes.